Hi folks, hope you're doing well. Third video of today. Yeah. Just spent a tiny bit of time with God. We're just speaking to God about certain things. About what was said earlier in the video earlier today. And something struck me. And something very big and something very important struck me. Church pastors, over the years, certainly over the last 30, 40 years, pretty much all of them middle class. I have not come across a minister in church, even someone in leadership of church, who wasn't middle class. Well, okay, you might come across a few in leadership, in the leadership group, because obviously the people that do teas and coffees, they're part of the leadership group. Yeah, so you might have some people that aren't middle class, but most are going to be middle class. Most are going to be middle class, reasonably wealthy people. Certainly your pastors, your teachers, because they have families that are able to send them off to Bible college. Because it costs. It's not a free thing, is it, Bible college? It costs. And so therefore they've got to be in a position to be able to go through that. And it is, generally speaking, the middle class people that are in a position to do that. Working class, no. You won't find many working class. Now again, would that be God? Would God be saying that middle class people need to be the ones who are, because God favoured them? No, that's demonic. That'd be demonic thinking. God hasn't decided that it has to be the reasonably posh people and people with money that should be the pastors and teachers. That's the world that decided that. That wasn't God. But there we are. This is the situation that we're in. And I say, in all things, if we're going to understand why the church is in the situation it's in, then all those points are relevant. So God wouldn't choose rich and powerful people to be the leaders of churches, because generally speaking, he would choose those who are the opposite of that, wouldn't he? Because if you read the Sermon on the Mount, what does the Sermon on the Mount say? It says the meek, not the powerful, the meek should inherit the earth. Right? It doesn't say the rich and powerful, it says the meek. So therefore God would choose the meek. The world chooses the rich and powerful. Right? We know that by scripture. The world chooses the rich and powerful. That would have been the case amongst the Jews. The Pharisees and Sadducees wouldn't have come from the poor backgrounds, they would have come from the rich backgrounds. They would have come from the families that were already powerful and could afford to send their children to learn the Torah and to study it. Poor people, no blinking chance. And here we have the Christian church doing exactly the same. No, it's not God. No, it's not. I'm not saying that God hasn't chosen some of the people. I'm not saying it's not God's will that the church has completely chosen, because generally speaking, left to their own devices, which I think is what is more likely to have happened, they've gone down this path because they always will. They always will. This is the point. It's human nature. You don't pick weak people to be in charge. You pick powerful people to be in charge. That's the world's way. So if you're building a company, you'll choose someone who is powerful, who is influential, and who is proven at being able to run a business, right? That's who you're going to choose to run your business. Well, the church has done that. It's chosen people that are that to run the church. Problem is, the church isn't a business. Well, a church is God's business, but that's completely different to the business of this world, and operates completely differently to the businesses of this world. So when you employ people in the same way as you would in the world into the church, it's not going to work. And it hasn't. Because you've got the wrong people. Now, saying middle class, saying... we'll put it this way. When you see on TV a C of E vicar, generally speaking... Oh, they speak like this all the time. All posh and, with a teaspoon in their mouth when they were a child. Silver spoon, yes. They speak like that all the time. Half of them, you think they're gay. But not gay, they're just posh. You, generally speaking, don't find many C of E or Baptist or Methodist or Pentecostal ministers that sound as if they're from... normal parts and they're a very, very normal person. They generally sound a lot more posher than the people around. And that's because they are middle class. And because they were chosen because of that reason. Because middle class is counted as better than working class. The same as upper class is counted as better than working class. So the working class is above... the working class is below, therefore the upper class according to the world, and below the middle class according to the world, so therefore you need someone at least middle class to be above the working class, according to the world. In business, traditionally, you always have a middle class person above the working class. And so the church bringing in the same system, again, come on, this is not God. This is not how God works. God didn't design a system where the working class, if you were born in a certain family that's working class, you were absolutely, completely effed for the whole of your life. That wasn't God's design. If it was, then we might as well be Hindus. Because Hinduism, you have that caste system. We might as well just have that. Because basically, that's a system that we've got already because of the fact the way people have chosen things according to the world for the church. Then become a Hindu. If you think that that's correct, become a Hindu. You've got that there. If you're born in a higher caste, then you will always be above those people from a lower caste. But that's not supposed to be the way of God, and God's church is a new creation. From the teachings of Yeshua, that's not supposed to be the way it is. To continue as the way things were before, where the rich and the powerful are still lording it over the poor. That's not supposed to be the case. Now, of course, ministers would say we're not lording it over. But if you're saying that somebody has to be of that type within society, then you are. You are. You're saying that basically middle class have to be the ones running church because they have to be the ones over the working people. So of course you can't have a working class person, teaching a middle class person or upper class person how to be of God, can you? Oh no, that's absolutely outrageous. You can't have that, no. We have to be above them. But that's not God. Sorry, that picture went weird again. I restarted my computer just a little while ago, so it should be fine, but it's not really. It's misbehaving a tad. Quite rude. So anyway, there you go. It's just a point. You take care. God bless. Bye.